So the Guyanese Critic is coming to you from Yakasari, Blackbush Polder. And I just came back to the vehicle. I'm just about to start an interview, but I came back to the vehicle to give you guys an idea and a perspective of what, Yakasari is like, what the terrain is like for you to get a good understanding. We're going to go straight into interview with Vinod Gopal's mother. Vinod Gopal is one of the individuals who were accused of the murder of the Henry boys. This is what Yakasari looks like. Very desolate, sparsely populated area. So a lot of rice is planted in this area, but the houses are really far apart. And right away, since I land here, I'm questioning. Yakasari is in Blackbush, and when you come into Blackbush from the upper quarantine side, is a few miles in a long road, and then it is the first community. There's 4 communities, as a matter of fact. I know one is Maibukuri, I forget what's the other one name, but Yakasari is the first one from when you're coming from Skeldon side. Come into Blackbush from Skeldon side. But to give you an idea, I drive all the way from way out there to come in here, and the road gets, not really good to drive on, so I stop and I'm gonna walk in. But this is to give you a perspective of where the individuals who are accused of the murder of the Henry boys, where they're from. And then one asks oneself, now Blackbush is on the quarantine, right? Where this act happened, it is Cotton Tree, that is over the bridge. And if you could remember, Vinod Gopal, one of the accused, said he never crossed the bridge. We're going to talk to family members and not putting anything in anybody's mouth, really sitting down and having a candid discussion about what they believe and so on. Now, the connection between Vinod Gopal and the 2 other suspects is one widely accepted and respected, because everybody except the boys used to be living in a White House maybe half-mile back that way with the Venezuelan girl who we saw the interview where she was outside the court and so on. So there's no dispute that these 3 individuals know each other. What is disputing is the one individual who's made a lengthy confession, and then other individuals. What we're going to do, we're going to talk to Vinod Gopal's family, get their take, his mother, his brothers, his sister-in-law, and get their take. Real, open, and disciplined interview from an unbiased perspective. Yeah? Wow. What is that? There's a big fish or alligator or something. Yeah, so we're gonna get a perspective. Sit, talk to the family members, and the mother would be able to give her take on what she feel. Everybody's saying different things, and a lot of times in this case, you have people putting words into people's mouth. So the question has to be asked, what is the real truth? And unless you get it live and direct from the people themselves, the truth sometimes is hard to be found. And this is where Vinod Gopal's mother lives, and that is all the way back from there. You gotta come in here, you go to dam and get all the way. So it just gives you perspective of the geographics, the terrain here. Right? And I personally am asking myself seriously, how do you look all this way or come from all this way to find these guys to accuse them? So, hi, good afternoon. And again, alright, so I can sit down right here and we can have this conversation. Thanks for doing this and being very open and transparent with me, ma'am. So thanks for facilitating me. You're Vinod Gopal's mom, right?
Yes, sir.
You're the person who recently had an interview outside of the court with a number of different media houses and so on. The brothers also here. Y'all guys getting this loud and clear, just to ensure that we have clarity and everybody hearing. Hold on, let me see. All right. I think they hear the place fairly quiet. Your son has been accused of the murder of the Henry boys. He's one of the accused, Vinod Gopal. There were a number of interviews. Watch. Well, if I come up on the bench, I guess sit down on the foot of this table right here so we get closer.
Yes,
I guess sit down right here. Yes, Chief. Hold. Yeah, I'll hold for me. Here I need help. Yes.
Why I play game with that phone? Cut off the lady phone. Yeah, let's play games.
Roger. So, yes, sorry about the people, but we need clarity. We need to get a good understanding of what is going on. We can just rest here, no worry. We're not in limbo. Yes. So your son was accused, and you did an interview in front of the court where you professed his innocence, fear being his mother. Everybody is innocent until proven guilty. That's the laws of Guyana. There's not any likeness of us, right? You have that right. What happens though is that your son has had a past, and in the interview, I don't think you understood the full scope that the people who were there were aware or would become aware of everything. And in the interview, you said he never did anything. He never killed nobody. It so happens that that wasn't true. But I don't think you meant it intentionally. It's just that the instance that he was implicated in something like that is so long back, you're thinking, well, he didn't kill the Henry boys, right? Or he didn't have the ability to murder the Henry boys. But Vinod, your son Vinod Gopal, was or did kill his dad, and that was a long time back. He was young.
Since 2006.
Can you tell me what specifically happened there? How did he come to being charged for killing his dad? What happened there? It was not like he was a bad person. It's something happened to cause that. What happened?
It happened that the father, that's so he didn't know. That's so he done.
Yes, it's done. He was acquitted of that.
Okay.
But
Why the reason?
for clarity,
the
because
father gonna go shoot.
the father was going to shoot you.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
And he already gone for the father to get them a grump.
Okay.
And so come the thing fire.
Roger that. So he was acquitted of that. There's a case where it's like that could be checked as somebody trying to represent themselves.
Yes.
Right? So that happened, that is in the past. But why I'm asking you is for clarity. And to not bring that, to use that against him. Because people have said, oh, he murdered already.
Yes.
Well, he could murder again. But you're accepting now that when you did the interview, it maybe wasn't clear, and you're accepting how the murder happened. Right? Now, your son has recently been arrested as a result of an investigation by the Guyana Police Force after the murder of the Henry boys. He's being accused, he's been charged, and he's before the court for that. you have constantly said that your son is not responsible for that.
No.
Can you give us an understanding, in your own words, why would you think that your son did not commit the murder of the Henry Wise?
My son was in the time with me at home here, when Henry Wise was born. He was with me in home.
At this house here?
No.
When does go there too?
Okay, this is the house we tell me about,
Yeah,
so where all the
okay.
boys stay.
Yes, so you come here to eat and things. So you're there here with me.
The Ghana jail.
Is there any dispute that these three suspects knew each other? You said they. Is there any dispute? They know one another. These guys know one another.
Yeah.
Yes.
They know one another.
Yes.
They all used to live together at a house.
Them two alone and a wife. But Vinod with me.
They always do.
Vinod with me. But then three,
They were
man and wife,
man,
and brother-in-law, the girl, brother-in-law, and husband. Living Tilsa. When you
When
go,
you
you're
said the
going
girl, there was an interview with the Spanish girl. The Spanish girl,
Yes.
she had somebody with her too?
Yeah, the husband asked the wife.
No. The boy, one boy is accused. He there with this Venezuelan girl. The Venezuelan girl, her brother was with her too. Somebody was with her. Or she come alone.
We really can't tell about how much of them live together. But the girl get the husband Rasta. And
Roger. This the girl was said. Me not understand. Me not know
Yes.
in the interview, right?
Yes.
Okay. So Rasta was the other one, and next one Rasta and Monkey.
Nakala monkey.
Yeah, they get that right.
Hello.
Then two brother.
Yes.
Hello.
This is video chat and I this.
Nah, now is a bad time. I thought you called me for
Time for
something.
you to know about.
Yeah. No issue. And it's no rush.
I understand.
I don't want you to feel pressure.
No.
Because, again, I'm telling you, in having a discussion, I will also go on to have a discussion or have interviews with people in the community, because that's what I've come here to. Have an understanding of what we're dealing with. And you, this platform is for you to tell the world, this is what I want here. And as I told you before we started the interview, you have a right. It is your legal right as a Guyanese citizen and as a mother to represent your son.
At least.
You understand?
Yes.
So the importance is bringing clarity. My interest is not whether your son is guilty or whether they committed the act. My interest is that as a result of this, what is being seen as a heinous crime, and attempts to manipulate what you say, or manipulate the facts in the public. It will attempt by, as people are, as I hear these talking the story, people make up the story and change the story.
Yes.
You understand? As I go along, people make up the story. They go
Right.
talk in terms, they talk
Exactly.
fancy, right? So a lot of times you might not understand what the question is.
Yes. Right.
Right?
Right.
So I want to bring clarity to that. I will, as I tell you here now, I will be going to other persons' home to ask. I'm going to the house where the boys them used to stay,
Stay
the neighbors, to find out what is
Find
going
it
on.
right.
Because I have received information after Vinod would have had the problem with his father, murdered his father. He went on a robbery spree. He was charged for a number of
Yes,
robberies.
yes.
He escaped from prison a number of times.
Yes. All the story.
Right? Those are finished stories.
I'll finish.
And yet, all that you guys have to suggest that it wasn't him is because you're claiming that he was here
With me.
when this thing happened.
Yes, he with me. When that thing happened.
Okay.
He was here
Do you
in September.
know any reason why one of the other individuals who you know, you know the guy, why would that individual,
Yeah, because I live, people know them.
Lord, why would he come now and try to implicate Vinod in something like this? Why you think he there, he get caught, police catch him,
Yes.
a tongue side,
Now, me know.
he talk. Why you think he
Right.
tell them no, Vinod is one of the persons? You any idea?
Really, we can't tell you what he said.
No, well, he confessed. One of them
He confessed.
confessed
Yeah,
and suggested that he saw what happened that Vinod and the other individual chopped the Henry boys, how they did it, where they did it, how they disposed of the bodies. They made him do. He ain't say he ain't do. They make he do because they said we can do the same thing to you, right? This is as a result of statement. All of this is evidence before the court, right? So I am asking you, why do you think, right? Because we can't discuss what is before the court. We can't discuss the evidence before the court.
Right.
What we're discussing is, and Guyanese at large want to know why your son, now this place is, what's the distance from here to the road?
It's only half mile.
It's like a mile.
There's a
half
mile we
mile.
drive in, eh?
Half mile.
And now this community, right? About a mile. So this community is how much miles from the main road?
7.5.
7.5 miles in. And how much, this is what village where we coming
Right
in?
away wrong from Adventure to 43 is 22.
No, don't worry. I want to know from here to the road.
The shack on it.
There's 7.5 miles to the road top.
Right.
Where's the community we come out of with a pump there?
That's 43 village.
43
Now,
village.
that's 7 miles.
How much
Right.
miles is 43 village from the Barbies Bridge?
That's the thing.
Now you can check.
Then we,
There's couple of miles because
Miles,
it's
right.
43 villages, right?
yeah.
So you see why my concern
Yeah, man, understand.
is how
80 to 90
you
miles.
come across the bridge.
Or 80.
Right.
You come all the way in here, come till on back down.
26.
You understand? The got people could be accused by New Amsterdam. You could accuse people in Albystone. You could accuse people in Agricola. You could accuse people right in Cotton Tree. So we're trying to figure out how it was pieced together. And I want to know why that individual, when and giving his statement, this happened, how it happened, and this and that. Why do you think you got any idea why you would call your son name? Just so he decide to implicate Vinod?
Because they know Madison village.
Huh?
They know Madison village. Yeah. They buy them and live here. So they know.
They buy no one, and they buy.
They might call him name
They
in
buy
God
Kali
story
Deep,
already.
yes, sir.
They might call him in God story before already.
Yes.
So they had issues.
Yeah, but they buy them. Then they get
The
the buy
Biden
them.
do no act with ING like no act, no killing. He was in Blackbush.
All right. Did you give the police a statement to the effect?
No more, but we talk like this and that. We don't know that saying so. I mean, not gonna know. We not gonna know.
Okay. Now, before I come to you, I spoke to a lot of residents, and I'm going to interview, just like I talked to you, and I made you aware that you don't have to say anything that will incriminate you. I did make her aware that she doesn't need to say anything that will incriminate her and so on. Hold on, let me come.
You have for your head now.
No. Oh, no. How's them my shoes do?
You gotta pull back.
Me here too big.
Right.
Yeah. Right? Yeah. That's the way your head big. Yeah. So I made you aware that you don't have to say anything if you don't want to say anything. So this is totally voluntary.
Yeah,
And
they go
Chenge,
on Facebook afternoon, man. This.
no, we live right here right now. We live right now.
Alright,
This is
now.
live. So why I told her that is because the interviews that she did before, she said clearly, no, my son never more than nobody, and I don't think people give her the opportunity to explain what she meant, what was going on. Now, Mom, I wanna
Well,
ask
let
you.
me know at least when the police come from. He did and he run away. I was here and then beat up he, the firearm from he, fire gun from he, and the whole of the box that. Then the young father shot quick the police now and take it because I beat her cutlass and what. And she just pick up a old shot and pants and wrap on the young police. So when he go out, when they have to wait because he was big up that.
When he ran and came
When he
here,
run
did
away
he tell
from
you
them.
what?
He run away from police in the effect. But he didn't know about this story about the entry by. He didn't know about
So
that.
he run from the other house over.
That
so-
house, so right there, and he come here.
Yeah, me a live. Normally, me a live.
He just come
Yeah,
here, say,
brother,
"Baby,
say,
you want
go
to
back,
come
go
here,
ahead.
Okay.
He's
when he
come
buy
see
things
him,
and stuff for me, just come
You
here."
come,
Okay.
Like that.
Now, have you ever received complaints of your son stealing people things and these kind of things?
It is still the people small things and so, pick people greens and things.
Okay.
You know, small, but nobody go into the station and say, "Video, damn, thief this thing." If they know and all I say, "Why not stop?" Not thief this thing. You know, pick people things and so.
Because I spoke to a number of people. Maybe things happen and
Maybe
everybody
some
not
people,
tell you.
maybe some people don't like this vibe, and people maybe talk lots of things about this vibe, but you could find out and see how.
Well, I will be interviewing different people. I just want to know if it was ever brought to your attention that he, you know, would have stolen things. One body claimed they was frightened for live around the area because they were shooting up in the area.
No, he not shoot no gun. Nothing like that. What they say? Nothing like that. Shooting up.
So you think?
No, all that is ranting. Go and ask this one.
Nobody glad for
Go and ask Tribute.
Number three, for instance,
Nobody
this shooting,
glad.
the reports
If
of
you
shooting.
Gopal is shooting up with gun. Nothing like that.
Already glad now if he got a jail for lifetime in the head.
People ask for that.
Remember, why do you think people would have a hatred for him like that?
Yeah,
You know,
because
we
he's
lost
just
his son for
normally
jail.
bad.
Because the daddy only son look me.
People
Only
frightened.
son look.
Like,
So normally, what he would do to cause people to frighten him like that?
because people love.
Because he
People
kill
let
daddy.
people are go jail,
And since he
and
kill
people
daddy.
are run jail, and he is normally run jail and go in and come out. So come people break it.
Yes, that. But it's a goodbye.
The only accessory glad if he can go on like.
All right, I'm gonna talk to the other people and get their
And first of all,
perspective.
too, when the murder happened, my foot was broke and me plant on 10 acre rice. And when the murder has happened, the man made us spray me rice and drain me land with me paddy cut. So, in them time when the murder happened, so what me give say that all is set up. Maybe Yan and them will set up or something like that, but
No, but you got any ideas as being his brother, maybe Alistair? Why do you think the guys that would implicate him? Look at how far this place is, you know? The
Yeah.
man from West Coast with the girl.
And they
Come
go
over
with
here.
this side.
Yeah, why do you think they would want to implicate him?
yeah, because them in a village by here, them in a little village, so they know he
And his
as
sister,
a bad so they call him.
So you
Maybe.
think,
his sister bad somebody, so come me no film come.
Yeah, his sister.
Then I tell her we not.
Them my sister all live right in here, sir.
They will live right there.
So them by them know about different village. Them was moved together or something.
no, but what I'm saying, I get implicated in something serious, right? Why you call me name? You never got something against me, you
yeah,
know?
that's something they get against him, man. You understand? Something they get against them, they call him. Maybe. But when that time at the murder, the man went.
And you have any idea where those boys were when they were here too?
The September, nobody knows the back there to live there.
No. Can you vouch for, because you're saying Vinod, you knew he was here. He went
We
working
know
for
what
you.
they do.
When
We
them
really
boys,
can't tell you if them was living there or the going. We not going to say about that because me not work and me not going to.
so all you know back is when they
Me
come
know
and
what me
accuse
son
Vinod
only.
now.
Only my son me know and them accuse me son. They by accuse me son.
Nobody never knows that they get whole accused, that they accused get whole for.
When the police were
When-
in, they know say that.
When I def in Facebook, then
Then I will know.
Then I know what the accused. Then all the time I never know.
Okay.
So that they were happy.
So when he was arrested, you guys went to the station and asked anybody?
Me never go. Me go in this from Skellen to Amsterdam and I carry food.
Me I gotta walk,
And
right?
in there,
Go bring me money.
so then tell me say
Me buy me stuff.
then give me a breakdown number to time.
Then I go Ghana left.
And we call him breakdown, then say he was in breakdown. Lock up. And me not go still.
All right, I'll leave my number with you if in the event anything you remember, anything you want to. Have you guys taken a lawyer for Vinod?
No. Yeah, but,
Me not take no lie. He tell me say that tomorrow a lie go stand up for him. The 16th. And me near go court what time the second they court again.
Okay.
So he said that one lie go stand up for him. So he tell me, you know, he tell the lie and thing. He stand up for him.
So you took a lawyer.
Me not take a lie. He see one lie. He said.
So
He
who's
wasn't there. I mean, you know how he get the lie protect from me number.
no, but who's paying for the lawyer?
nobody they pay no money.
Nobody
to
pay
no
no money.
I be the poor people are because I have to get money to take life.
Okay.
She now walk no, him normally me so mind she.
Okay.
When when out Vinod, they so mind she look take care of she. But otherwise me got take care of she look after she.
And what work he does normally do when like
Normally you do little rice walk to people. You walk rice walk. So.
okay.
But
Yeah,
everybody, wow, body. Yeah, I used to plant normally little farm and everything.
All right, I'll leave my number with you, and if anything comes to mind, or you guys want clarity on anything, you feel free to call me anytime. Right?
Yeah.
Thanks very much for bringing
Let
clarity.
me even give you number to talk to them. A little bit.
Okay. All right. Thanks, eh?
Yeah.
Yes. Welcome.
Go